It go off, it go off.
So Ryan apparently wanted to fight Devin a couple of weeks back, and Oscar said he was instructed by Ryan to make the fight, and then all of a sudden Floyd became Ryan's mentor slash advisor. Ryan doesn't want to take the fight, and he wants to fight Rolly. You know, Ryan was talking about Gervonta Davis needed to fight him earlier this year, or his legacy would forever be tainted. I don't think Ryan quite grasps what legacy for a boxer is. Legacy is, you don't call out Haney, then opt to take an easier fight. And he did that when Haney was at 135 and had the WBC belt. And he's doing it now. Haney is at 140 and has a WBC belt. You don't start talking about, oh, go sell your 30,000 pay-per-view buys with Richardson. You don't say stuff like that. Like, when you're talking legacy, it's a separate debate from money. Legacy, can you beat Haney? Can you beat Richardson? Not can you outsell them. I mean, he's shown that he can do pay-per-view numbers with Tank, but he was soundly beaten. So what, you get legacy just for participating in a fight with a high pay-per-view number? No. Ultimately, you need the bodies to cement legacy. He's still treading water with Luke Campbell, still probably his best win. Pay-per-view numbers alone can't do it. How much pay-per-view buys is Ryan versus Rolly gonna do on Amazon Prime? Because since he's with Floyd so much, I'm assuming he thinks he's gonna fight there. Listen, I won't be paying for that on DAZN. Rolly versus Ryan, I won't be paying for it. And it's no hate. I'm exercising my options.
You know, I'm not really in the circle of butting heads at the moment with all those guys, but there is a huge amount of money for Gervonta Davis for that fight. So I just wanted to let him know.
People blaming Floyd for Ryan's decision, but it's Ryan making the decisions. You know, like they blame Floyd for Tank making his decision. Didn't Tank leave TMT then go back? They've been blaming Floyd since Floyd was a pro for why the boxers don't want to take fights. Where's the personal accountability? Eddie's been throwing these numbers in Tank's DMs for how long? How much was it to fight Tevin Farmer? A ridiculous amount of a winnable fight. And like, why isn't he not taking the fights? He takes the DMs and blows them up to everybody, just like he makes them comments on Twitter and takes them down. It's weird anyway, it's weird. I don't think he's going to take the Devin fight either. So who is Ryan going to fight? Barosso or Rolly? Who's champion? Most people thought Rolly was lucky to beat Barosso, got a lot of assistance from the referee. And Barosso, he won an eliminator or interim belt yesterday, beating OHARA Davis. What is crazy is Will Jones, OHARA Davis's trainer, he called the play almost simultaneously as it happened. He told OHARA, he's going to wait for you to shoot. You're in control. And as soon as he said you're in control, OHARA shot the right hand across to the torso of Barosso. Barosso countered with the left hook, and the rest is history. It's crazy.
He's going to wait for you to shoot. Are you controlling the ring minute?
Not even Josh Taylor did OHARA that dirty. Like, OHARA had his moments in that fight. But this here, he got cleaned out. What's the future for OHARA? First round knockout. American debut, first round knockout loss. 31 years of age. Nobody predicted that.
I just want to say I'm sorry for the people that had faith in me, all of the fans, people that didn't go to bed because they wanted to wait up and watch me become champion. It's a fight that I see myself winning. I done camp right. Everyone done their job correctly. I made a mistake and I paid for it. I threw a good shot. I tried to rush in and I ended up getting caught. So all I can say is that I'm sorry. I didn't see this coming. I don't think anyone saw this. I don't think anyone saw this coming. yeah, I just really got to just chill now and just see, because you know this isn't how the script was meant to go. But listen, let's just see what happens now. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry again to everyone.
Nothing really to be sorry about. Throwing hands first round, perhaps you could have been more cautious, but be thankful you got out there in one piece. What was he going to do? Stand off against a 40-year-old and let the 40-year-old dictate the pace? Barosso, 23 knockouts in 25 wins, still has a very impressive knockout ratio, however. So perhaps a more cautious approach would have been advisable. OHARA was looking for big right hands from the jump, overextended on that right hand, and it looked to me like he was caught cold. First round, that's always a possibility. Barosso did say he planned to counter in that fight, and he was good to his word. No disrespect, but it must be quite difficult to see his old looking face and not think, yeah, let me just steamroll grandpa. But this ain't no ordinary OAP. He's had struggles in the ring and probably outside the ring, and he's learnt from that, and he's given a lot of younger 140 pounders something to think about, isn't he? He's interim champion now. Controversy in the main event. VERGIL Ortiz landed a hard jab on Frederick Lawson. Lawson's legs went. He backed up into the ropes. Ortiz threw a dozen punches or so, unanswered punches. I think Frederick threw half a punch, half tried to steady himself, but he wasn't firing back. So Ortiz was teeing off. Most didn't connect. Tony Weeks jumped in. Controversial stoppage. He said after that Frederick Lawson took an MRI and they found an aneurysm. Tested again. The result repeated itself. And then they got another doctor in to take the same test, and it came up negative, so they let him fight. Now, Tony Weeks was saying that as some damage control into why he made that decision. However, Golden Boy's account conflicts with Tony Weeks' account. They say that Frederick Lawson was passed a fight by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and any questions will go through them. Nevada need to answer why they do have conflicting stories. Like, what happened? Did he pass these MRIs? Was there a third party involved that came up with a negative test? If there was a third test, why was there a third test? What was wrong with the first two tests they did? Why were they so determined to get Frederick Lawson in the ring? Of course, Ortiz needs to get back in the groove, but not at the expense of an opponent who might be carrying an aneurysm into the ring. Now, can't justify a controversial stoppage, but Lawson wasn't going to win the fight. I think he would have been out of there in 2 or 3 anyway. He's been stopped 3 times already, had his jaw broken a couple of times, so it was a relatively safe fight for VERGIL, and that's understandable. He's been out for a long time. He said he wants Tim Tszyu next. But you know, it's a new weight class. He's been very inactive. Golden Boy might try and persuade him to take a couple more fights before taking on Tim Tszyu. But the way he sees it, he's been on the sidelines long enough. He doesn't want no tune-ups. He wants to get in there and test himself. And I wouldn't mind seeing it. Okay, so let me break down ZHANG versus Deontay Wilder. Now, I'm off Twitter, so I'm not clowning around. I do clown around on Twitter, though I do talk a lot of real shit. So, undercard of Joshua Ngannou, ZHANG versus Wilder. Wilder is 38 years of age. ZHANG is 40 years of age. Now, there are reasons why I believe both men in different circumstances wouldn't necessarily take this fight. So let's start with Deontay Wilder. He just lost to Joseph Parker, looked rusty as anything. His confidence could be at an all-time low. I mean, post-fight, Malik was saying ideally they would have needed a few more tune-ups before taking on an opponent like Joseph Parker. But the Saudi money, not being funny, that Saudi money is going to make a lot of boxers take fights that under different circumstances they wouldn't have necessarily took that fight. And a lot of them are going to get their ass whooped as a result if the Saudis continue on the trajectory that they're on. But what options does Wilder really have right now? 14 dates at the PBC, Amazon Prime are not financing these cards. Al has to put together the financial package and they'll broadcast. It looks like a trial period on Amazon for the PBC right now. And they certainly can't compete with the type of money that the Saudis are going to pay the likes of Deontay Wilder. So if he is to continue, he might not have no other options. Terry Lane, one of his co-managers, said, yeah, they're looking at the proposition and we'll see what they come up with. Now, ZHANG, everybody's looking at it like ZHANG is really up for it and Wilder might be shook. And it might be because of the confidence thing. Wilder coming off a loss, ZHANG coming off a tremendous, was it third round knockout over Joe Joyce? But the ZHANG I heard talking about a potential Wilder fight was very respectful to Wilder, saying he's a wonderful fighter and that great right hand. And I think it was because he was rusty why he lost. He also said about the potential matchup, let's not overthink it, let's do it. So it's positive language, but he has tremendous respect for Deontay Wilder as a fighter. So what would possibly stop ZHANG from taking that fight? Well, he's the interim WBO champion. He's on the cusp of getting a title shot. He could do what Hrgovic is doing, find himself a nice piece like Mark Demore and just wait it out until his title shot comes. I mean, at 40, he takes a bad L. Opportunities could become limited to get back in the title picture. Now the bag, let's call it the Saudi bag. This ain't no regular bag. The Saudi bag should be enough to make them sway towards the direction of taking the fight. But I wouldn't be shocked if one of them, tried to put a spanner in the works and stall negotiations. Perhaps they may need more time to think about it.
Think about it.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Totally unbelievable. The Saudi money, or the Saudi bag, has got Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn to a point where Matchroom are helping out Queensbury to put a world title fight on the Fury Usyk undercard. Because Frank ain't got no champions apart from Tyson Fury, world champions, as far as I know. So Joe Cordina gets his hands on the Saudi bag, taking on Anthony Kakase, who's a Queensbury fighter. From what I remember, he's a Queensbury fighter. The times I've seen him fight, he's been on Queensbury cards, when he cleaned up Leon Woodstock and a couple of other fights. Decent boxer, not much of a banger. Joe should grind him down in the second half of the fight, but I expect him to give Joe a few issues though. The Saudi bag. Can you Adam and Eve it? I mean, if I told you that Eddie was going to lease fighters with Matchroom contracts and DAZN contracts to fight on Queensbury TNT undercards, you'd have told me, what the fuck are you smoking? But that's exactly what's happening. They're both in a position now where they have to make each other look good, whether they like it or not. Because if Queensbury put on a shit show in terms of undercard, the way they see it, Turkey Al Sheikh, is if the show is shit, it's down to both Eddie and Frank. They can't try and get one over on each other so they can go on IFL TV. Oh, do you see that shit show that Eddie put on in Saudi Arabia? No. They're going to hold you both to account and the money will dry up. It's not only good for British boxing, it's good for world boxing. A situation like that needs to happen with Bob Arum and Al Heyman, where they're forced to pull their resources together. So Errol Spence had cataract surgery today. Well, when we say today, like by the time I get this out, it could be a day or so. Which he says has been overdue from before the Terence Crawford fight. He said, why do you think I got hit with so many jabs and hooks? Still a great performance by Bro. And a lot of people are seeing it like he's making excuses. Well, he's not making excuses. Now, when he says before the Crawford fight that I was the issue, I'm assuming he's talking about it's been an issue since the Lambeau incident. So that means he fought twice with a defected eye, against Danny and against Ugas. But they're not on the same level as a Terence Crawford. And it's exactly what I said when I broke the fight down. I said you can get away with drinking, not living the life, the carryover from the injuries, from the accident. You can get away with it with them guys. But if you're going to fight Terence Crawford and bring that baggage into the ring, you're not coming out with a W. I don't see it. Errol Spence's name is the truth. And yeah, that was the truth when he fought Terence Crawford. The truth ruthlessly exposed that he's not on the same level as Terence Crawford. And Like, he's just had cataract surgery. When is he going to be ready to take this rematch with Crawford? When's that going to happen now? They fought in July. Why has it took until January 2024 to get the surgery done? You know, that's a silly question. There could be many reasons. Maybe they needed the eye to heal. Could be many medical reasons why. Does he fight again? What's the motivation to fight right now for Errol Spence? You know, he was replying to somebody trolling him, I guess, responding to them saying he's a one-trick pony, but he said, yeah, the one trick secured his kid's future, his parents can retire, etc., and he doesn't have to put the gloves on again, is what he said, and he's right. Could that reply be a hint that it's over? Errol looking like Slick Rick with a patch over his eye, but wishing him a speedy recovery. Yes, and wishing Callum Smith all the best on Saturday. A lot of people say he's in over his head. I'm not writing Callum off. BETERBIEV, 38 years of age. The inactivity could come back to hurt him. 2 fights in the last 2 years. A lot of injuries, surgery. Callum is equally inactive, but he's a little bit younger. He does have the power, looking more powerful at light heavy. I wish he was a bit more active going into this one, but I'm wishing him the best, and I refuse to write him off. BETERBIEV is there to be hit. It's what happens when he returns fire. A lot of people are picking BETERBIEV to continue his knockout streak, but Callum's never been... Has he ever been floored? I've never seen him floored. I've never seen him floored. He's never been dropped, never been floored, never been stopped. A lot of people keep referencing the Canelo fight where he wasn't able to compete on the inside with Canelo, and neither should he want to compete with Canelo on the inside at 6'3", 168. Now he's with Buddy McGirt. Joe Gallagher's gone, and I'm just hoping Buddy is teaching him how to turn his man, turn, and be patient with the process. Because Callum can punch himself, and he's got a nice telescopic jab. But he is in Quebec, and the crowd are going to be rooting against him. But BETERBIEV is a favourite, you know. If I'm honest, I do want Callum to win, so I'm trying not to be biased. But if John Ryder can land power jabs on Callum and basically outfight Callum, we just have to hope that he was weak at 168, and the power that he's shown in a couple of the fights at 175 is the sign of a rejuvenated fighter. Callum has to knock him out. That doesn't mean he has to go steaming in looking for the knockout, but I believe he has to get my guy out of there. He's not the best boxer in terms of fluidity, Callum, he sure isn't. I'm rooting for Callum Smith to score the knockout. I am. I believe he has a shot at doing it, but BETERBIEV should maintain his belts at the end of 12. He should. But more importantly than that, it's a very good style matchup. Shame it's not on the zone. It's hard to see this fight being a dud. Natasha Jonas versus Michaela Mayer. That should be a good fight. If you're in the UK, it's all about Sky on Saturday into Sunday morning. They've got the Natasha Jonas fight and the Callum Smith fight.
You go off, we go off.